Hello and welcome. New week, new opportunities. Looking forward to another day in KwaZulu-Natal. Just before we touch on today's meeting, we are at the Hollywoodbets Gravel Polytrack surface today, just for the viewers out there. Another reminder, our social media strap is up on your screen. Pop us a message and let's try and tip you a few winners throughout the week. All right, so I'm in the hot seat today. I've got Daryl Marie and Darren Burrows with me, and we're going to dive straight into the first race. Race number 1, number 2, Tefra is your 14-10 favorite. Been lots of money around for this first timer. Number 1, Miss Dora's at 22-10, and at 7-2 and better bar those. Darren is on the line. Darren from the Western Cape. What have you heard? Tell us a bit about the horse Tefra. I believe the talk is big, and they're expecting this horse to win first time out.
Yes, that's what I've heard from a lot of people. The right sources that Tefra is the right horse and should win on debut.
Okay, well, there we go. Short and sweet, and that's what we like to hear. So 14-10 in the market. You've heard the talk is big about that one. Now we're going to go to Daryl Marie. Daryl, give us a comment about number 7, Hugs and High Fives. I know that Hollywood are always prepared to help.
They are. Nice filly, but she may need further, so there's not a lot of confidence coming from their side. No comment with regards to the favourites, but she is a half-sister to Winter Flight, who's very quick, especially on the Gravel Polytrack 1,000 metres. If she's supported come race time, I think she should make a winning debut because Miss Dora is obviously well exposed, but she's got the racing experience on her side. Number 4, Vermicelli, she should run into the money now that she's coming back in trip with a set of blinkers on. So 2, 1, 4 in that order. The favourite should make a winning debut.
All right, yeah, good to see these silks in KwaZulu-Natal. I think over the weekend we've seen these same silks on horses like Activator, all trained with Ashley Fortune. So great to see these silks now in Durban as well. Let's go over and see what we're doing in terms of selections. Daryl Marie in the first leg of the bar pot has gone 1, 2 and 4, by 2, 4, 5 and 6, by 2, 5 and 7, by 2 and 5, by 2, 4 and 6, by 1, 3 and 5 at the back. And that spend is going to cost you 648 Rand. Let's move to the first leg of the place accumulated. All starts in race number 2, and the market at the moment has number 6, Lady Heist, as your 28-10 favourite. We're going to start with Darren Burrows. Darren, what can you tell us about this race? The 6, Lady Heist, 28-10. Just offhand, I know that you like a bit of Blush of Dawn.
Yes, I think Blush of Dawn's a massive runner here. You know, she is a 6-year-old. She hasn't won in a while. Her rating's down to a 62. She's a course and distance specialist, 3 wins from 12 starts, and she receives as much as 8.5 kilos from the 3-year-old Lady Heist. So I think Blush of Dawn could come back to winning ways, but she hasn't won in a while.
All right, so Darren Burrows likes a bit of Blush of Dawn. Like I say, off air, we're having a chat about this individual, and he really does make it some value today at about 11-2, the current price. Daryl Marie's going to try and help us as well. Very competitive start to the first leg of the PA.
Yes, I think I put 4 over here, Brandon. Lady Haas, Morgan Le Fay, very little separating the two of them. On paper, that is 1.5 kilograms better for a length and a half beating. Lady Heist is going to go forward and be put in the race. Petite Verdot is going to be my top pick, Brandon. Excuse me, suffering over here. Now, you can see her 2 comeback runs were on a soft turf track. If she's not beaten for speed on the Polytrack 1200 meters, I think off her current rating of 70, she's more than capable notching up a few victories. So I'm going to go 2 ahead of the likes of 5, 6 and 4.
All right, so there we go. Very open race. I don't like the look of it, and you heard from Daryl Marie. It's quite a competitive, trappy start to the first leg of that PA. So we've gone with quite a few horses in terms of selections. We're going to pop that up onto your screen so that you can see what Daryl Marie's doing. He's gone 2, 4, 5 and 6 in the first leg, so 4 horses, just to make sure that we're safe and sound. By 2, 5 and 7 in the second leg, by 2 and 5, by 2, 4, 6, by 1, 3 and 5, by Banker 4, by 5 and 7, and that unit's going to cost you 432 Rand. First leg of the pick six. Let's jump straight into it. Like I say, this is the bet that can change your life. It's all about structure at the end of the day. There's been a couple of scratchings. Number 1, Global Secret, and the 5, Kylie's Fate, are unfortunately scratched in race number 3. The market has Popular Bayou as your 5-2 favourites. We're going to go over to Darren Burrows. Darren, what do you like in race number 3? Popular Bayou, 5-2. I thought that was a bit skinny.
Definitely, I couldn't believe it. She opened, I think, 8-1 into 5-2, and she's only had one comeback run where she was beaten 12 lengths. So I can't be in the camp of Popular Bayou. I did play the field in the pick 6. My first choice would have been Global Secret, the scratching. Now my first choice is Bright Star from the Nathan Kotson stable. The stable's in form. This filly runs her best races from the front, and from a good draw, she can hold her position. I think she'll be right there.
Yeah, you probably do need to go with a big F over here. We will put those selections up just now for you to have a look at, but a very trappy contest. You're going to hear me say that quite often today. Daryl, I don't like the look of this race. I think normal Monday meetings, you're going to get that word quite often, trappy, tricky. It just doesn't get easier, does it?
Yeah. The case applies to this race too, Brandon. Very competitive. I like the look of number 7 over here, Victory Bell. Now, in her penultimate start, she was returning from a rest. It was over 1,000 meters, and she didn't break well on that occasion. She stayed on in the latter stages. Then last time out on the turf, she had excuses. She's a better polytrack horse, down to a 61. In her penultimate start, the filly that ran second, Beckoning Beauty, ran second again and then came out and won. I think she's ready to go close. So each way play on number 7, Victory Bell.
Nothing wrong with that. There's a bit of value to be had over there. Let's put those selections up on your screen. Let's see what the guys are going to do. Like I say, I don't like the look of it. You can see Darren Burrows also gone with a big F. Field over there in the first leg of the pick 6 by 2 and 5. By Field, by Banker 4, by Banker 5. And that's going to cost you 1,296 Rand. Let's move along to the jackpots. I think the punters out there will be giving the jackpots a full go today. The first jackpot starts now in race number 4, and the market has number 2, Thunder Masala, at 33-10. The 5, Eventadors, at 33-10. The 8 horse, which is Lord Minvers, at 9-2. And at 6-1 and better bar those. All right, Darren, can you help us over here? I see Hollywood have got the favourites, so the 2, Thunder Masala, and the 5, Eventador.
Yeah, I'm not going to split the two of them. Narrowly, Eventador. I like this horse a lot. Clyde actually fancied this horse last time out over the 2400. It was a stronger race. In this type of company, his ratings down to a 70. The 2.5 kilo claim, everything's going to help this horse. And then Thunder Masala going the right trip. He's going to improve. So 5/2. I just went the two of them in the pick 6.
Okay, so let's see what Daryl Marie likes over here. Bottom of the page, you've got a horse called Lord Minver, who's actually done nothing wrong to date. Must we include this horse?
If it wins, we're out, because I've played the same way as Darren. I've only gone for the 2 in the Hollywood Silks. Thunder Masala, now you can see as his racing fitness has increased, he's been stepped up in trip. In the past, Brandon, he has run very close over these distances. Over the 1900 and the 2000, so he does get the distance. Eventador, very, very fit. His ratings come down slightly to a 70, but he gets the 2.5 kg apprentice allowance off his back too. And you can see his form over the course and distance. He's only had 2 starts for a win and a second. So I expect the Hollywood horses to dominate.
Okay, and I see High Velocity has been scratched. If you just want to update your publications as well, so High Velocity has come out. Let's put those selections up on your screen. Let's see what we're doing in terms of the jackpots. Darren Burrows has tipped this jackpot, and he's gone 2 and 5. So Thunder Masala and Eventador in leg 1 by Field, by Banker 4, and that's going to cost you 144 Rand. Let's go to the second jackpot. I see as it stands, the source With Pleasure is your favourite in race number 5. Race goes off at 2:05. So 3-1 about number 4 With Pleasure. 2, 6 Hot Fix at 4-1. 6 Straight Up at 4-1. The 1 Aqua Sulis at 6-1. It's 8-1 and better bar those. Darren, we're going to start with you. I think this horse last time out, I'm not sure he stayed. I obviously speak under correction. I'm not sure your thoughts. You'll give that to us in just a moment. But With Pleasure, back to 1800. Could be a strike at 3-1.
This could be the horse to beat, Brandon. 3 runs back on the Polly over the 1900. Probably one of the better rides you'll see. When Keegan de Mello saw the pace was a bit too slow, he circled the field, skipped for home, never in doubt. And this horse will go very close to winning. The dangers will come from horses like Straight Up. The stable's in form. 6 Hotfix, 1-2 in a row, beating Straight Up in his last 2 starts narrowly, and Victory Twist of the rest.
All right, so you might just want to chuck in 1 or 2 with Pleasure. We're going to go to Daryl Marie and see what he thinks. Your opinion, did he stay the 26 last time?
I think he's better. Well, he stayed. He finished the race, Brandon. Was he his best over that distance? I'm not too sure. But Brandon, I think the pace is certainly going to be on. You got the likes of six Hotfix who can go handy, if not lead. Run to Denmark and Victory Twist. So I think the pace is going to be genuine, and that may just set up the race for something off the pace. The likes of Straight Up comes into that category. Now you can see on several form lines, Straight Up and 6 Hotfix have finished close up to each other. So on paper, very little separating the two of them. And then Darren touched on the key race, which was on the 14th of December, when With Pleasure got a peach of a ride by Keegan de Mello on that occasion. And Straight Up is actually 2.5. He's better off at the weights on that race. And the stable's in cracking form. So I'm going to say Straight Up, the horse to beat, ahead of the likes of With Pleasure and 6 Hotfix.
All right, so that's the input of Daryl Marie. He can be very straight up at times. I tell you, calls a spade, and we're going to put those selections up on your screen. Let's see what we're doing when it comes to the second jackpot. Now it's the turn of Daryl Marie. He's gone 2, 4, 6 and 7 in the first leg by field, by banker 4, by 5 and 7, and that's only going to cost you 72 Rand. We move along, we go to race number 6, and the favourite in a wide open contest is number 8, Just for the Penny at 33-10. 5, Lulu the Legend at 4-1. The 6, Afropolitan has gone 6-1. And behind that, Majestic Power 6-1. It's 13-2 in better bar those. All right, Darren, we need all the help we can get over here. Just for the Penny, I see 33-10, and it's great to have Chase Majan in KwaZulu-Natal today.
Yes, Brandon, but have a look at this. 1,328 days since his last win. That's over 4 years. He's a one-time winner in 32 starts. I expected more from this horse in the past. I'm hoping that he can get his next win out of the way, but it's a very competitive field. You got Afropolitan, who's 1-2 on the trot. Lulu the Legend, the blinkers go on. Majestic Power, a good winner last time out. Brave Voyager's got a chance. I made it very open.
Yeah, it does look to be that way. Just to update your publications as well, there's been a scratching here. Number 2, Flying Grace, has come out, unfortunately. Daryl's going to try and help us. Very open race. I mean, great to have Chase in Durban. I know that he does majority of his riding on the Highveld and in PE, but gets a few opportunities in Durban today, and hopefully he can go home with a winner here.
Isn't he a Durban boy back in the day?
Yeah.
He was a struggling jockey, let's be honest, in Durban. And when
he's
he
underrated.
when he came up to the Highveld, his whole career changed.
Very underrated jockey. I like Chase. I think if he's been put on the right one, he can deliver. We've seen it how many times with Johan Janssen van Vuuren's horses, and let's hope that he can have a winner here.
If he does, I wouldn't like him to have a winner this race, Brandon. I touched on the pace in the previous race. I think this race, the pace is going to be on. Afropolitan, even Lulu the Legend can go forward. Brave Voyager and Raven Sword. So the pace is going to be genuine. Once again, I think that could just set up the race for something just off the pace. Majestic Power, last time out, over the course and distance, he won quite with a bit in hand. He only got a 1 kg penalty. So he's track and trip suited. There haven't been any winners, but the second and third place runner both placed in their next start. Tristan Godden now gets the ride. People are going to say, how can you give Corsican a chance? Because his form lines are certainly not strong. But I think the manner in which he won his last start, his turn of foot convinced me that he's more than capable of notching up another victory. So in a wide open event, I'm going to tip the outsider in the pack. Number 3, Corsican, ahead of the 1, Majestic Power.
It's a big price. I'm still scrolling to find the price of Corsican. I see you can get, mind you, 8 to 1. Not too bad. Found a bit of value over there. The rank outside as it stands is number 9, Raven Sword, who's at 14 to 1. All right, so let's put those selections up on your screens. Let's see what the guys are doing over here. They've gone to pick 3. Field by 4, by 5 and 7. So field by 4, by 5 and 7. And that's only going to cost you 18 Rand. You can take that a few times. Just make sure that you're on by 14.40. Race number 7 is the Greyville Convention Centre. Fillies and Mares 68 handicap. It's over 1,600 metres. Been a lot of money around for Dan Simalord over here, from 5 to 2 into about 18 to 10. Let's go to Daryl. We'll start with Darren Burrows before we come to Daryl Marie, because Daryl Marie, this is one of his favourite horses in training at the moment. Let's start with you, Darren. Dan Simalord, number 4. Are you going to make this one of the confident bets on today's programme?
Definitely, Brandon. We're saving the best for last, race 7 and 8. Now, Dance My Lord in a penultimate start on the poly track. She beat Ice Sensation in a close finish. They pulled over 6 lengths clear of the third horse. She got the penalty of 6 points, but last time out, the 1750 caught her out. She's a course and distance specialist, and in this type of company, she should win.
I love it. I like the confidence. I really do like that sort of confidence. That's the way it should be. Daryl Marie is going to hopefully give us that confidence as well. I think I need to speak to Lance and the Zogbies to give you some shares in Dance My Lord, because this is one of your all-time favourites.
She is. For a filly that was labelled a cripple, hasn't she done well? She loves this course and distance. I'm not concerned about that 3 kg penalty because, like Darren touched on, they pulled well clear of the balance of the field, and the filly that she beat is actually above average herself. Dance Me Lord's a much better polytrack filly, back on the surface, course and distance suited, that stable's in form. Marco should hopefully boot home another winner for MJ Ordendal. Her biggest danger, Kunabi, I've got my doubts over the mile, Brandon. She tends to move up and then find very little in the business end of the race. So I'm going to say if Dance Me Lord settles in running, you can go do the banking.
Lovely. What are we waiting for? 17 to 10. I don't think we'll be shy to dip into that. So let's see what we're doing in terms of selections over here. What are we going to do when it comes to race number 7? Short and sweet. We're going to have a strike on Dance My Lord. Like I say, from 5 to 2 into 17 to 10. And this combination did have a winner yesterday with MJ and Marco. So they would have watched the replays. And let's hope that we can do the banking through the last 100 metres. Very early ending to the lucky last. I see we wrap up proceedings in KZN at 15:55, so 5 to 4 we should be done and dusted in KwaZulu-Natal. This race is over 1,400 metres, and there's been a bit of money around for one horse in the race really, and that's William Rufus, number 5, who's now trading at 11 to 10. We're going to go to Darren Burrows. Darren, short and sweet for us. Can we take the 11 to 10 about William?
Definitely, Brandon. This horse won with ease last time out. Went start to finish, was never in doubt. He did have a horse like Parmenion a length and a half behind him, and Parmenion is better off at the weights. But I just get the feeling William Rufus has the come-on look about him, and I think he could do the same as he did last time and go start to finish in this lineup. The other speed horse in the race early is a horse like Count Marsh, who may push forward as well, but I think William Rufus, being a 3-year-old lightly raced, I think there's more to come.
All right, so there we go. 11 to 10 at the moment, William Rufus. Let's go to Daryl Marie and see what he can tell us about this individual. If memory serves me correct, there was a bit of talk about William Rufus in Cape Town when he was racing there, Daryl.
Yeah, he didn't disgrace himself, but I don't think he was living up to expectations. So they changed provinces for him, and he was very impressive last time out. He was never in doubt. He did get an easy lead, and I don't know if that's going to be the case, like Darren touched on, with Count Marsh and White Cedar in the race. But you can certainly see him building on that effort. I make Parmenion a big danger because they have met in the past, and Darren's touched on the weight reversal, 2 kgs. But on that occasion, Parmenion was drawn 1. and the jock didn't want to give away a good position, and he bounced him and chased him early, and he took a hold of the bit and he was over racing. So I'd like to see him just be given a chance, just off the pace, settle in running. That's most important. Would I be shocked to see him reverse the form with William Rufus? No, but I do like the look of both of them, 5 and 7.
So perhaps we need to include both. All right, so we're going to have a look at those selections and wrap up things in Durban. It's another trip on the poly track, and there we go. Daryl Marie's gone 5 and 7 as the swinger. 5 being William Rufus and the 7 being Parminion. And Darren Burrows is going to go William Rufus the win. Like I say, the current price pre-recorded show is 11 to 10, and one gets the feeling that maybe when they start loading, there's going to be bucket load of cash on this individual, because he does look to have that come on look on the poly track surface. All right, so that's it from my side. We trust everybody's in good spirit. Let's try and make some money for the week ahead. The last race from Hollywood Bets Greyville goes off at 15:55.